everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Footy Fantasy podcast. We have a crack team here. We brought them back. Solid squad. EeJay, joining our friends and T-shirt. Thanks for coming. I know, although she's not really our friend.
Don't call my name.
Mr. Choko. Thanks for coming up. Always. It's always a pleasure to have you. And like everybody can see today,
same here.
I'm representing. I like to call it Atam FC. That's who I represent today. Any team against Mourinho, and that's why I have my name called Istanbul. For that 3-0 to 3-3 comeback. That's also one of my members of our club, Atam FC. If anybody wants to join, feel free to join us. We're here. Send me an email, ili@gmail.com. Atam FC. It's a free membership club. Any team against Mourinho. So today's a good day for me. That's how I'm drinking my water. Happy that Mourinho got pegged back. He's the myth we've had for so many years. Oh, a Mourinho team cannot lose 3-0. A Mourinho team cannot lose a 5-goal lead, a 3-goal lead. It happened today within our very, very, very own eyes. So today is a good day. This week is a good day. Actually, United won. Towards the end, had some good goals. So it's a good week. The Liverpool draw points. So yeah, it's a good week.
Absolutely,
it's a good week. So let's dive in. Today we'll be talking about Man City, Arsenal. EeJay will be giving a review. We'll talk about Van Dijk's injury, Chelsea's defended. We chat about Project Big Picture. A lot has happened about that. We haven't had time to get to it. And we'll do our new segment called the Weekly Awards. Egg on the face, kudos for the week from the world of football for today. But before I start, let me tell everyone where you can find us. Facebook, Extraordinary Footy Fans. This video, the full video, will be on YouTube at Footy Fantasy. You can find us on Instagram. We have short clips on there at Fantasy Footy. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. It's the Footy Fantasy Podcast. And you can find us on Twitter. I'm always there. Come at me, Footy AD Fantasy. I'm ready for trolls. All the trolls, you can come. I'm ready anytime. You can find me there. And all our addresses will be at the end of the page to get the exact addresses. So we're going to kick off with the big Arteta energy / Emery, because Arteta is, this is tactics. Is leaning towards Emery-like tactics. Pep Light, like they like to call it.
Not even close.
Some people call it Pep Light, So Pep was able to defeat Pep Light this weekend.
Sure.
So tell us about the game, EeJay.
Look, Manchester City needed that game more than we did. They have not had the best start. In fact, this was their worst start to the season, and we were having our best start to the season. We had just beaten them in the FA Cup the last time we met. So they came ready, they came scared. They were concerned that they would, probably lose to us. They came out all guns blazing. I would say I was scared when I watched the match, and some people said the game was boring, but I agree, but we were just really pegged back. We couldn't even string passes in the beginning. So it wasn't fun for Arsenal fans to watch, but you could still see that we maintained a lot of our defensive shape. I would say that goal was a goal that didn't have to be conceded. You saw Leno pretty much parry the ball back out, and then the ball came back in. So that game could have ended 0-0. We had our chances. I think they had 13 shots on goal. We had 11 shots on goal when it was all said and done, because the second half was much better than the first half for us anyway, for Arsenal. I don't think they had 5 shots on target. We had 3 shots on target. So this was probably the best we've played them at the Etihad in years since we beat them in 2015, which is incidentally the last time we beaten a top 6 team away from home. I don't think Arsenal fans should be too concerned. I think even after this game, we should still be optimistic. The only concern you can say we can have is that maybe our creativity is poor. And even though I said we had 11 shots on target compared to that 11 shots on goal compared to the 13, we didn't inspire a lot of creativity. And again, it's going to be hard to do that against a team like City, where you can't hold on to the ball. Like they're crowding you. And that was their whole tactic to, make us not keep us away from the ball, which again, we did better. We held on better in the second half. Arteta played with his false nine, it's not new. It's just something he thought that he could do. When you hear, when I listened to him after the press conference, it's something he thought that he could do to counteract City or exploit their little holes that they could have, that he anticipated that they would have. And it was a gamble he took. I'm okay with coaches taking gambles. So I'm not going to say that he is Emery the way we saw Emery do things that didn't work. And Emery made changes during the match, like within 10 minutes of making a change, he'll make another one. Or, he was more of a tinkerer than we're seeing Arteta be. Even Arteta, I would say he stuck to kind of his formation for a long time before he even brought in Laka and Eddie Nketiah. So he's probably going to be a lot more resolute than Emery was. And I don't think he's going to do it for all the games that he plays this season. So I think Arsenal should be optimistic. I don't think we should be crying Arteta out yet. I think this is as much as we're going to get from the game, and we should probably not be too upset. I don't know any Arsenal fan that's like realistic that's crying about this right now. I think we'll be okay. In fact, I think City probably needs to be a little bit more scared even after this game, even though they won. I think they did play scared towards the end. Very narrow victory. I don't think they should be sitting comfortably at all. But yeah.
Okay, so I guess you are not Arteta out. You're like, the level below. Arteta in between. Can we say that?
Arteta forever.
Arteta forever. EeJay, they'll clip this though. They'll clip what you just said.
Arteta forever.
Arteta forever.
Okay, look, listen to this. I reserve the right to change my mind. For now, I've seen nothing that should make me change my mind. So I'm Arteta. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Okay, so what's
forever suggests.
I know it sounds no one's forever. I just mean that I'm not even close to Arteta out.
Okay. What's your minimum? What's your minimum expectation for this season? Has it changed?
This season,
yeah.
Top 4.
Top 4 for him.
No, I expect us to be top 4. I think we will, and I don't think a lot of people, although I've seen some people say that we would be top 4, I don't think a lot of people will expect it the way I'm expecting it. I think we can get there, but we do. I mean, it's 5 games in. We need to see more games. How he plays the other teams.
I do.
And we have party after party.
Party,
After party.
I was expecting like two goals and assists, man.
Already.
That's your marquee signing.
Well,
no goal assist. I was expecting that now because that's what Arsenal.
Now
when every team buys a marquee player, where's the assist and goals? They're already counting. So we're counting for you guys too. No goal, no assist. It's already one game. The agenda has started. Agenda was
8 minutes. 8 minutes. Don't worry.
Agenda
I get it. No.
Agenda was agenda. I didn't write the
we need to see party for 90 minutes.
Okay.
We need to see party for 90 minutes.
Okay.
Make a proper assessment. I think he did. He did what he could.
Yeah, he was up for 8 minutes.
I think it's a solid buy. I'm jealous. Solid signing.
Yeah, because the GM can progress the ball. And my thoughts about Man City Arsenal. Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you say, for sure. I think Pep kept it simple. This time around, he just kept it simple. Just put the best players in their best position. That's what he did. He kept it simple. And because he kept it simple, he came out, okay, what's our weakness? Our weakness is at the back. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put 3 players at the back. If I have 3 defenders at the back, 3 of them cannot get overrun quickly, easily. So the last person that was always making all the recovery tackles was Walker. That's Walker's strength,
Yeah.
If you beat one of them one-on-one, at least second person can come. So that's what he did. He played 3. In the midfield, I think the success of City, especially in the first half, but you're right, you guys still carved them open here and there. And their keeper was really good. I just think that probably one of his best game I've ever seen. Those saves he made, he saved against Saka, and one of that save, I think Oba. He saved them against Oba.
Yeah.
But I think the secret to that City performance was Bernardo Silva. KDB was out, they were short in midfield. Bernardo Silva had one of his classic Bernardo Silva games, which is like when they beat Liverpool 2 seasons ago, where he was everywhere. Bernardo Silva was everywhere yesterday. He was everywhere. He was running that midfield. He was collecting one from deep. He was breaking the lines. He was pressing. He was like a one-man army in that midfield. I'm like, wow, see West can still play like this. So yeah, I think we still don't have enough data, but for sure, a lot of my predictions are going to change now. Especially having Aguero come back because I thought he was out for longer. When I saw Aguero, I'm like, wait, I thought this guy was out till like November or December.
He's
That's what I
back.
was saying. It's like, what, starting Aguero? I seen Aguero back. I'm like, okay.
That's what happens when they see Arsenal, they get fit.
Seeing Aguero back, seeing Van Dijk, Liverpool lose Van Dijk for the rest of the season. Personally, I think a lot of my decisions have changed. So talking about Van Dijk, that's a good segue to Van Dijk injury. Choko, what are your thoughts about the whole incident with VAR casting out their goal, VAR not picking up Van Dijk's injury? What are your thoughts, Choko?
I think it's again another big failing of the VAR system. There is no. I mean, I've heard the reasons why they haven't gone back to it. One of the possible reasons I've heard. I'm not sure how true it is, or how if it's been confirmed officially, but apparently because they had made there was an offside decision and it happened after that, they couldn't go back to it. But as far as I'm concerned, that was a dangerous tackle, and VAR is meant to say, okay, we think something has happened. That's why VAR. That's the essence of VAR, isn't it? To say something has happened, let's pause it and go back. Now, the reason why I think that argument, what I just said now, doesn't even stand is it happened in the Manchester United Newcastle game. The penalty that Marcus Rashford got, they pulled the game back after they had awarded a free kick to Newcastle. Yeah. If you watch that game, the free kick had been awarded to Newcastle, and the game was still pulled back
for the penalty
to call a penalty for Manchester United. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't get that argument of because something else had happened before, we couldn't go back to look at it. I don't get that argument. Now, a brilliant and an instrumental player to Liverpool, who obviously are eternal rivals to me, but obviously put that aside when you're talking about issues like this. They're going to lose for the whole of the season, most probably going to lose it for the whole of the season. So at least the least they could have done was to have at least sent Jordan Pickford off for that game, which would have given Liverpool the advantage, or at least get the 3 points. I think that's the least justice that could have happened for that tackle, because that tackle in any game, not just a game of football, was a dangerous and violent tackle. The guy basically clattered into the guy's whole knee, and in fact, when I first saw it,
it was 2 foot off the leg, off the floor.
His knee was gone. That's what I thought.
2 foot off the floor.
Yeah, that was such a dangerous tackle. So, again, I think it's the VAR failing, and I think there are too many. For me, I think with VAR, there are too many gray areas, and VAR is meant to take out all those gray areas. So I'm not sure it's fit for purpose at the moment, because if VAR is supposed to make certain things that have gray areas, then why are there now gray areas with his decisions? I don't get that. Correct. So yeah, it's sad. It's sad, and obviously, if I were a Liverpool fan, I'll be fuming, because it cost us the game. It cost them the game. Sorry, to be honest, because if Pickford gets taken off, I don't see how Everton would have stayed in that game. If they were 1-man down.
To add to it, I think apart from going back to the red card and looking at it, it should have been a penalty, just like you said. Like on the Manchester United game, there were like 2 phases of play that happened when Rashford was fouled. It was a throw-in, then it was a free kick, and they brought it back after 2 phases of play. Pickford should have gotten a red card and should have been a penalty. We've seen that happen so many times. I mean, the game before against Tottenham, right? It was like something else was happening. They were just standing in the box. They gave a penalty for that. Like the ball was already in corner kick. The phase of play wasn't active. Marshall slapped someone, Yeah, so it should have been, in my opinion, so it should have been a red card and it should have been a penalty. That's what's happening. And retroactively, they should still ban him at least 5 games because that was a terrible tackle. Because both feet was off the ground. I didn't understand why they didn't look at that. Yeah. Then the offside one, I don't even want to think about that offside rule. I'm just like, come on. At some point, guys. At some point, we're going to stop this.
I didn't get that.
I'm going to stop this hairline, armpit thing. Doesn't make any sense. Like, like just like the normal eyes, even with the lines, it still looked onside. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of the season. Yeah, it's comical. That thing is going to decide something very, very critical, in my opinion, this season. It kind of almost, messed up Sheffield last season, if you remember. When they had that thing, ball crossed the line. It kind of decided who stayed up. If you think about it. Because if Villa lose that game, they don't stay up. They go down last year. Villa and Sheffield after project restart.
They said that wasn't VAR though. That wasn't VAR. That was goal line technology.
Yeah, I'll go to that goal line technology. What's it called? All that technology.
Goal line technology, yeah. Hawkeye, right?
Hawkeye. Yeah.
Hawkeye.
There's a name for it.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Yeah.
Boom.
But this is what I'm saying though. I agree. It's just like saying, okay, referee misses something because that's a personal referee decision. But when Hawkeye misses a failing, it's still part that affects the football game. Isn't that a clear and obvious error? That Villa has to say, hey, Hawkeye, this thing crossed the line. Give the goal. And Villa will now Hawkeye will go back and say, oh, actually it crossed the line, goal. Like, how hard can that be? I don't understand. I don't understand that. Like I saw it.
I do want to add
replay. So EeJay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at the danger of playing devil's advocate with VVD's health, and I hope he returns even sooner than we think. Because I don't think Liverpool, they've not won anything without him. So I don't think they win anything without him this year. But I don't know, like if the game is called, if a whistle's gone off for offside and you clatter into someone, how is that a penalty? I guess that would be my question. If it's offside and the whistle is gone, why any play that happens after that is dead usually?
Okay.
I get it that you can a corner is pretty different from like a clatter that happened after an offside decision. I don't know.
That's a fair point.
And I get Martial, he slapped the ball. That one's just violent misconduct, unnecessary misconduct. I think.
And I was wrong about that one. There was no penalty for that. I was wrong about that one. For Martial's own, there wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, that was a red.
It was just a straight red card. Yes.
Right, there wasn't. It was just a red. I don't know.
That's a fair point.
I think yes, reckless by Pickford, and he was, and I don't know. I think that also, even when we saw it with Darlow with United's game, how he got injured trying to save the ball from Rashford. I would say for the last 15 minutes he was unfit because he got hit in the groin, and it was offside. And you don't blow it for offside because you want the game to finish. And maybe they need to reconsider that. Maybe you need to call offside so everyone stops. I don't know. But then I know the opposite side of that is that you don't call the offside, they score, and then you check it, and it wasn't offside, then they have a goal. It's very tricky. But some of those plays, if you stop it dead earlier, you don't get these collisions, and
So stay with you, EeJay.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense, to be honest.
Stay with you. Chelsea, the team you love to hate. They're defending. So, I feel like there's two faces. There are people like, oh, yeah, defend. Our defense is this, that, this. Our keeper. I'm also of the part that at some point, I saw some back and forth on Facebook where, I think it was Dara that mentioned, he mentioned like some exotic watch. Their attack is some exotic watch, and he says their defense is fossil, means from fossil. And somebody said, "Are you sure it's not use that error?" And I saw that everybody was trying to troll, but then I thought about it, like, at some point we have to look at Mr. Frank Lampard, and this because they concede too many goals in transition, in transition, and it's like, at some point, we have to start looking at that, in my opinion. So, what are your thoughts? These are my thoughts.
I think that's fair to include Lampard as one of the people that needs to be looked at as far as like why they keep conceding these goals. Obviously, the personnel has to be examined, and they tried. They got Mendy, he got injured, so that took care of that. Now they have to hang on, use Kepa, which no one is a fan of. I would say even Frank Lampard is not a fan of him.
Yeah.
And he was definitely playing scared yesterday. He's playing very low confidence. I feel bad for him because he came in very expensive tag a couple of years ago and just has not really lived up to.
I think the most expensive.
Okay, so I was even giving him benefit of that. I thought Alisson was probably more expensive. No, but he's more expensive than Alisson.
He broke Alisson's record. Yeah, he did.
That's crazy. Yeah, so he's so short on confidence. Yeah, he's probably a flop. And you guys had numbers earlier. We talked about this a little bit, that he's faced the third least amount of goals.
Shots on goal
last season anyway.
Yeah.
And so shots on target, like shots on goal. So basically, he really faced that many goals compared to some other goalkeepers like my Leno and my Martinez last season, and still conceded as many goals as he did concede, and on pace to concede even more.
Any opportunity to be goal.
And Chelsea that we all had. Yeah.
She's my Leno.
Chelsea that we have Chelsea. I mean, most of us had Chelsea as far as like who's finishing top. We had Chelsea. We're not joking. We thought Chelsea would finish second at least. We thought this is their year. That Frank is going to like.
That's who had them. It was both of you that had them.
Sure, I know you didn't buy into it. I was like, I didn't fall for that trick.
I put him at top. I put him at top.
Werner and all these folks that they bought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put him at top. I think they have
because they finished fourth last season.
Right? They have enough goals to finish third. That's what I put them as at that time. Well,
you think they still will overcome this? Well, I changed my mind. I don't think they'll finish third. I think other teams will finish third, aka us, and they will finish maybe fourth, maybe fifth. If they keep conceding goals like this, there's no way. Like, this is Southampton. And I get it. Southampton has, they'll always try. Southampton is one of those teams. They always try to score. Don't really care. But if you're opening the door for them, like Zuma is out there making these little mistakes that is like letting other teams in. That's Southampton. You're going to let other people in.
I have a big shout about Southampton. A very, very big shout about them. My big shout about Southampton is nowhere to finish. So, I think they'll finish middle table. But I think their coach hasn't able to, based on the resources he has, I think he's a better manager than Frank Lampard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's my opinion.
Based on the resources he has.
Correct. Yes. You have to
that game against United, the way he coached, the way he no, 100%, 100%. He's better than Ole. I'll take him.
He's a better coach.
Over Ole.
He's a better coach. And even for his record, right? He took Leipzig to like third before this guy came to take over from them. Yeah, he took Leipzig third. I think he finished third or second. I can't remember. In Germany before Nagelsmann came. So yeah, he's a good coach with reputation from Leipzig and Hoffenheim. So yeah, that's my opinion about that. So now we dive into project big picture. Let's not waste time on that. So I'll let Choko, our financial expert in the building, kick this off. Give us a quick summary on what it is and what your thoughts are.
So quickly, project big picture was a plan by the top by Manchester United, essentially, and Liverpool and Rick Perry to fundamentally change the way English club football is run from top to bottom. So the plan was to essentially restructure the Premiership, reduce it from 20 teams to 18 teams, and for all the lower leagues, as the Championship, League 1, 2, and the National League, and all of them to have 24 teams each. They also wanted to change to the way broadcasting income is distributed. They also wanted to put forward a one-off rescue package of 250 million to the EFL, which is the English Football League, and 100 million pounds to gift to the Women's League and grassroots football. Right. They also want the creation of the Women's League, independent of the FA and the Premier League. And they also wanted changes. This is key. They also wanted changes to Premier League voting power, so to speak. As it is right now, the Premier League has one vote for one club. So every club has an equally weighted vote in any decisions that has to do with the league. But they want to change that and give more powers to the top 9 teams. And out of that, 6 of them could veto any decision. And yeah, a few other plans, but those are the main plans that they wanted to come up with. They wanted to essentially change the way football is run, and they say the claims are that they want to do it so that players will run, so players will play less football games. So they wanted to scrap the Charity Shield and the English, the Carabao Cup, what we call the Carabao Cup, the League Cup. They wanted to scrap those 2 things as well. My thoughts on it are that some of it are good, some of their plans are good, and some of them are bad. I think the plan to give themselves the power to determine who, broadcasting rights in terms of, how broadcasting money is shared, the who gets to buy what club or not. I completely disagree with that. I think that is how cartels are formed.
Correct.
I don't agree with that. So those are my thoughts on that particular part of it. I'm a Manchester United fan. It will favor Manchester United, but I don't think that that's good for football overall. Correct. But I think that the plans to give money to the Women's League, to lower league, I think those are good plans, because some clubs are going to actually literally go out of existence. And we know how bad that goes. I remember when Charlton was it Charlton FC? I remember there was a club last season that was struggling, and the players had to down tools because they're not being paid. I was following it. I followed that story. I've forgotten, but it was a club in London. But that's an aside.
Yeah.
Well, you know how the toll it takes on the fans and all of that. So that's good. Grassroots football, it's good to invest in grassroots football. The reason why we have great coaches from Germany today is because they have an organized grassroots football that produces a ton of coaches.
Correct.
And that's why they have good coaches coming through. It's like when I said so that's good. So my 2 issues is the money side of it, the ending of parachute payments for the clubs to be replaced with 25% broadcasting income is also good because it's higher. So currently, the parachute payment is around 10% or thereabouts, but changing it to 25% of broadcasting income is good. But then the other side of it, one other thing I don't like is the whole concept of determining of the big clubs saying that they want to be able to stream their games on their platforms. I don't think that's good for competition, because the low clubs will not be able to compete. A club like Brighton will not get 100,000 people watching their games on their platform, whereas Manchester United will get 50 million people watching.
Correct.
Liverpool will get 100 million people watching. So I think that's unfair. I think that's going to create what we have in the La Liga right now, where you have literally the rest of the league suffering and then the top just holding on to power. Again, I think overall it's bad for football.
Okay.
I don't agree with the restructuring as well of the league. So yeah, that's some of my thoughts on it.
Okay, we have 4 minutes left, so I'm not arguing. I agree
the rest of the time.
I agree with everything you said. We have just 4 minutes left on the pod. The only thing I'm going to add quickly is just say, I think it's hiding in plain sight. I think if you have 500 million or however amount that they have anyway to give the EFL clubs, why not give them? Because all these clubs in total spent over $1 billion in transfers, this summer. So if you had that money anyways to give it, why can't the whole Premiership teams give it? You don't have to put a condition like, oh, we're going to do this for you, but this is what we're going to take in return. So those are my thoughts. And maybe I'm just when it comes to football, maybe I'm being a socialist. But I feel like football clubs should be social clubs, social organizations. That's my thoughts about football clubs. EeJay.
Also on the side, oh sorry, quickly. I just wanted to quickly add this. On a sad and lighter note, it also means that Glazers are going nowhere, because if they have this kind of designs, they're not planning to do this, and they beat Manchester United. So for me, that's just
I know. I want to pretend like that's not happening. But yeah, I know they're not going anywhere. Okay, EeJay, I know we'll just jump straight to like weekly awards. If you had any quick thoughts, we have 3 minutes left. So my weekly award for sure goes to egg on the face has to be VAR and Pickford for that horrible tackle. In my opinion, that's my egg on the face award. Kudos for the week. 2. 1 goes to Thiago, that no look pass. Oof, for me, when I saw that pass, I'm like, my goodness, that should have led to a goal. The no look pass to Mane, he was looking somewhere and he's led, like, that's one. Then also the team goal by Manchester United, I think it was the third or second goal.
Yeah, third goal.
I think it was that passing sequence.
Was it second or third?
I don't remember now, but I know that it was a passing sequence that involved Van der Beek, Mata, Bruno, Rashford, Bruno. I mean, that goal was vintage Manchester United counter-attacking goals. It was good. Those are my awards. EeJay?
I think the egg on the face for me would be the whole Tottenham squad for losing a 3-0 lead that they had. They were so comfortable when I stepped out of the house. I stepped out of the house saying that yes, they've won the game, and I came back home
our club.
And it's 3-all. I'm part of this club. I love the club.
Okay. Welcome aboard.
That's how I've operated my whole life. I've always been against Mourinho, so I'm happy to see it. What's the other one? Kudos?
Yeah.
Honestly, I give kudos to the United team. I think even Harry Maguire getting that goal to tie after they got all the goals were scored by United that game yesterday. So I think after the massacre they had last week, coming back from that, I think Ole Gunnar's even putting Harry Maguire back in the squad, like, just shows that he had, not that he had confidence in him, but I think he just wanted to make sure he didn't lose confidence in his captain. So I think I'll give kudos for the first time in my life to United as a team. They left it late, but even though I think they did it with the goalkeeper of Newcastle United playing on one leg for the last 15 minutes. But they still get the kudos.
We have less than a minute.
It is what it is.
We have less than a minute.
So for me, sorry.
Quickly. Just quickly, it's going to go off now. I don't want it to go off without you finishing.
Yeah. For me, egg on the face for me was personal. It was, I didn't want, like many fans, I wanted Maguire dropped, and Ole played him, and we won. And he played, and he, like you said, got us the equalizer. You've already said my kudos. My kudos was that goal, the Bruno goal. The team.
I want to end it. Sorry. We've come to the end, guys. Check us out. All our addresses at the end of the pod.